Hi guys, back again, another installment with Willem. And Willem, what have you got for us today?
Okay. A while ago, we spoke and showed a copy of the Model 73 Colt. Now, Samuel Colt started making his pistols in about the 1830s. Um, the cylinder is not a novel idea, it was used before, but Colt made the first successful one. One of his most popular and successful revolvers, beside the Navy Colt, and if you've seen a lot of cowboy movies, you most probably seen a couple of these floating around. The Model 1860 Army Colt. There she is. It's nice and sleek revolver, but it is a bit of a handful. Now this revolver...
But it's not nearly like the Walker or the Dragoon.
No, they would have been massively made. That was way earlier, and this revolver was very popular. Was actually made in 1860 as the Model 80, and extensively, used in the American Civil War. This was actually the service pistol for the Northern Army's cavalry. The pistol was not used exclusively because there was a shortage of pistols, but it was considered to be the service pistol. It was also, funny enough, very popular after the war with a lot of your gunfighters. It is not as bulky and heavy as your old dragoons and such. They were huge pistols. This is in a 44. It's lighter. If you ignore the length of the barrel, it is more handy. You could wear it in your belt without too much problems. Some of them been cut down fairly short. The loading lever ramrod was removed. There's your loading lever ramrod. I'll get to that just now. And then it was cut off to about there. I've even seen one where it was cut down and the grip was changed, more rounded. This one you did not use. They did issue paper cartridges. Like a paper cartridge would have been like a combustible paper wrapped into a tube form, into which a measure of black powder, these guns use black powder, black powder was poured for the cartridge, usually about 27 to 30 grains. It was closed, and it was twisted closed, and then on top it was actual bullet was placed. So you had a paper cartridge. These did not use the modern metallic cartridges. Let me put it at half cock. As you can see, there is nipples there at the back. And the way that this boykie was used is, alright, you put it at half cock, just like you did the 73. You placed either loose powder or a bullet on top. Then you rotated it until it got under the rammer. The rammer moves this shaft forward. The shaft is nice and rounded. You take a round ball and you push it. Okay, let me do it like that. You push it in. And you have to do this 6 times. Substantially less efficient than the bare-bed metallic cartridge, but consider the time period and what else was available. All the other revolvers that was available used the basically same system, and it was, for its time, high technology. Always remember that. Don't pull a drop, look down your nose at these. These were high quality, and they were used extensively. Wild Bill Hitchcock was amongst one of them that carried one. It was said that the gunman Dallas Stoudemire was carrying one of these with a cut-down barrel on him when he was shot. A couple of other of your so-called notorious gunfighters of the 70s and 80s also carried cut-down variations of this pistol with them. All in all, I would not pick it for a self-defense gun, pistol rather. Don't say gun, say pistol. But if it really must come, push comes to shove, it will take out somebody. Remember, you're talking about 27 grains black powder behind say a round lead ball of 44 caliber. You got 6 shots. They're not the most accurate that there was. They're short range weapons, but they would have done the job, and I'm sure many Union cavalrymen were very glad to have one of these.
Okay, and they were 1860, so they came in basically with the Civil War.
That's correct. They wanted a lighter, as I said, there were older Colt models that was used, old Dragoons, etc., etc., the Navy Colt, which was a 36 caliber, Remington made a lot, Star made a firearms, there were a couple of other makers, there were imported firearms from England and Europe, your Tranters, cars, etc. So there were a hell of a lot of different type of firearms. But this would have been the official firearm
for the Union
forces.
Okay, and up until what date did they produce those?
They were produced, they stopped production, say, in 1871. Smith and Wesson had the patent on the bored through cylinder. This cylinder is blocked at the side with a nipple going through to the chamber.
Yeah.
That's how these revolvers worked. The Smith and Wesson had patent on the go. So everybody had to wait until Smith and Wesson's patent expired. That is why the 73 model got a bored through cylinder. What Colt did is they took a lot of these revolvers and they converted them. They took the loading lever, they removed that, they fitted a spring-loaded shaft like the 73 style, and they bored this thing through and did a couple of other minor modifications, but it was still open top, and they sold them like that, the model 71, 72, which was sort of a gap between this revolver and the model 73. But these things were used very late. Until in the 1880s, you would still have found a couple of these floating around.
So all in all, a good revolver, you'd say?
Solid revolver, nice revolver, easy to find, easy replacement parts, easy to repair. I think this one was made by Uberti as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Willem, for another very interesting and informative segment. Hope to see you soon again.